What's going on YouTube? Mike here with I Heart Knives, and in this video we are going to do some scratch pattern testing with 01 tool steel. I'm going to use this Hawk plain blade. Nothing special, just well heat treated 01 tool steel. Polishes nicely. It's pretty easy to sharpen, and I think it'll show a good scratch pattern difference. How I'm going to do this is start with the Chosera 800, get a scratch pattern on it. Then I'm going to go to my Suita Japanese Natural. That should get rid of the 800 grit scratch pattern and change it to a Japanese Natural scratch pattern. Then I'll go to the 1000 Shapton Pro, put those scratches on it, go back to the Suita to erase them, and then go to the Kramer Hinkelstone 1000 grit. So 800, 1000, 1000. This cut's a little bit finer than 1000 in my opinion. This cut's a little bit coarser, and this is on the finer side as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they compare. And then the Suita will put just a completely different finish on it. So let's get right to it with the Chosera. This is a pretty quiet stone. It does give good feedback. Has good elasticity, so it lets you know where you are when sharpening. I think it's really good for kitchen knives, but you can sharpen, most knives with it. I'll just keep going until there's a uniform scratch pattern, and any higher grit scratches are gone. Just because I usually keep this at about 4,000 to 6,000 grit, in that range. So I'm just going to go until it's all the same Chosera scratches. I should also mention that I freshly lapped all of these stones with the Atoma 400 grit diamond plate. So they all have the same lapping finish on them, so there's no there's no surface difference with them, because sometimes if you lap them with like higher grit, it'll leave a finish that's a little bit finer. So I figured I would just do it all the same. Alright, let me show you guys the finish. Up here at the very top here, we're not going to count those, the polish here, just because it's a little bit finer, because I usually raise the plain blade up a little bit and put like a micro bevel at the back, just so it's easier to sharpen and strop. But we'll use this back part here. That's where we'll concentrate. So I'm going to put this up to the camera and show you. So you can see this haze back here. So this haze here is what you want to concentrate on. Here at the edge, again, it's a little bit shinier because I raised the plain blade angle up a little bit. All right. So now we're going to move on from the Chosera and go to the Suita. And the good thing about Japanese Naturals is they remove scratches really well. So It should take the scratches out of this plane blade fairly easily and fairly quickly. And I apologize for any shaking, but Japanese naturals have a lot of stick to them, especially when they're both flat surfaces. They literally will stick to the point that you can pick the stone up with whatever your sharpening median is, or whatever your sharpening tool is that you're sharpening. So for this, in this case, the plane blade will get enough surface tension that you can just about pick the stone up. Okay, so here's the Japanese natural scratch pattern. And here you should be able to see there's a very similar haze that the Chosera gives, but it's a little bit shinier. Actually, significantly shinier, but it does give that same haze. If I raise a slurry and use a slurry, it'll polish a little bit more. Here, let's go ahead and use the Shapton Pro 1000. Again, it was just lapped. And you know what I will do is grab a Sharpie just to give you guys a visual aid. Okay. Now this is actually pretty interesting. So the scratches on the Shapton Pro are actually, they seem deeper, but the polish is actually a little bit shinier. So like the lines are more noticeable, I think. You know, you can see the scratches much easier. But at the same time, the shine of it is a little bit, I think a little bit cleaner, I guess you could say. Not cleaner isn't the word, but it's a bright polish, not in like a mirror type of way. Just the way that it reflects light, but also the scratches and the lines that the stone puts into the steel are more noticeable. So that's interesting. Maybe that is why the Shapton Pro, you know, everyone says it's a coarser finish. Maybe it's just because of the scratch pattern, but it's interesting because the shine, you know, the shine is actually pretty good. I'd say it's you know, right around 800 to 1000 grit. So let's go back to the Japanese natural. Alright guys, so at this point, the Suita erased the scratches. You can see it's pretty shiny, but also a little bit hazy. That's like the normal Japanese natural finish. You know, you can always see like slight scratches underneath, but obviously, you know, on surface level, it's pretty good. It's good enough just to give us, you know, a visual for the scratch pattern of the next stone. And the last stone that we're going to test is the Zwilling Kramer 1000, and I am going to just go ahead and hit the record button again because I'm at about 24 minutes right now and it'll stop recording at a half hour, so I'm just going to hit it and then start recording again. Okay, so we're back. We'll have 30 minutes to record, which will be plenty of time. I won't need that much time. And we'll go ahead and start polishing the back and seeing where this stone takes us. And I'm also trying to be incredibly mindful of the pressure that I use, to use the same amount of pressure on the stones, because pressure, you know, pressure does change the finish a little bit. You know, if you push too hard or not hard enough, it can change the scratch pattern, so I'm trying to be mindful of the pressure. What's interesting is this stone doesn't seem to have the same like stiction that the other two do. It's more, it glides a lot nicer actually. So I don't know if it's just shedding grit faster, so it's staying you know, like more lubricated, or if it just is a little bit harder so it stays wet longer. I'm not really 100% sure. Although now I feel like I'm building some stiction, so maybe it was just you know, erasing the scratch pattern, and then a lot of stones, once you meet the scratch pattern, you'll feel that friction and that stick on the stones. That's how a lot of times how you know that you're done with the grit is when you feel that, especially on Japanese naturals, but many synthetic stones will do the same thing. Okay, so I would say this is definitely 1000% the finest of the three. Like 100% without a doubt the finest. And the scratches are also the closest together, so maybe, you know, that probably coincides with it being the finest too. But they're shallower scratches than the other stones, and they're also finer scratches. So let me zoom in and show you. So you guys should be able to see that pretty well. Yeah, so I think the conclusion on this is that the Kramer Zwilling stone is definitely the finest scratch pattern of all of them. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this test and for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I have a lot more content that I'm filming and getting out. Been doing a ton of leather work. I want to do some leather videos, share some knowledge and you know, what I've been doing lately. I apologize for not having lots of videos in the past 3 weeks, but with Christmas and New Year's and work's been crazy, family life has been busy, so you know, but I'm back recording, and I'll be getting more content out to you guys, and I appreciate all you guys. So hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment. If you guys have any questions, you can leave them in the comments or email me at iheartknives@yahoo.com, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Later.